Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to learn a bit of VIM. One of the things I'm doing is I purchased VIM Adventures. It's a good way, from what I researched, it's a good way to learn VIM. And before that, I was just using standard typing, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But I realized that if I want to be better at it, I should probably learn my tools a little bit better. And so that way it's just easier for me if I need to edit text and kind of navigate instead of having to use my mouse. I really don't want to use my mouse. It's nothing really against it. It's just I feel that it's inefficient, and so that's the reason I'm crossing over to Vim. One of the YouTubers that I like to watch is Primogen, and also TJ from the Daily Stand Up, and Casey. But one thing I'll say is they do mention mostly the Primogen and Teach is that they recommend learning your tools so that way you can be more efficient at it. That way it's less of a barrier to what you need to perform, right? So the same way you would learn typing, you don't want that to be a barrier thinking about every keystroke. Same thing with this. So editing configs quickly, it'll be easier that way. So let's go ahead and take a look. I started this week. I got to level 3, and today I'll be starting over just to kind of practice the keys. So from my understanding, this is VIM motions. These allow me to kind of navigate the editor. So let's go ahead and go through them. So HJKL. This will just build the muscle memory. Oh, I think I got to click in here. Okay. So HK. There we go. Okay, so I did get to level 3. I just needed to practice it a bit more. Let's see. J. And one of the things I did to help me remember this is, so H and L makes sense that they're on the left and the right. J and K. J, I pictured it as a down arrow. So J, I picture down. K, I don't really think of it. It's up. So whenever I realize I need to go down, I'm like, okay, J. Okay. Let's see if the muscle memory kicks in. And then you could also tab, you could just press it down, so that way it's a bit faster. That works as well. Let's see. Okay, there's a built-in system. You could use the help and then work with the letter. So I could say help J, and then it'll tell me what that motion is. So in this case, if you want to go through it, I really recommend this game. You should buy the license. It's about I purchased it for $40, so it's $35 for the game, I believe, and then $5 for additional challenges. I believe it used to be $25. So when I was seeing content about it, it used to be $25. It's unfortunate that it's gone up, but I mean, it makes sense. The people who are developing this and maintaining this, it costs money, it costs time. So they should be rewarded for that, or compensated for that. So with that said, I do recommend buying it. This is just me going through and learning it, just to kind of say this is a really great tool, just because when I went in the editor myself, most people have this experience where they don't know what's going on. They might get in accidentally in a different mode. It's a lot of keys, it's a lot of bindings at once, or motions at once, instead of just kind of sequentially showing you what's available. So I do like that in this case, right now what's all available to me is HJKL and nothing else. So if I want to delete, I can't use X right now. If I want to go to the next word, I can't use W. So I don't accidentally get into the space where I'm clicking on things and it's doing things that I have no idea what's coming up. It breaks it down to just these 4 basics, and then it stacks on top. And that's a lot easier to learn than trying to have access to everything and then doing breaks, and at least for me. So even though it costs some money, I think it's well spent to learn it in this process. One thing I did want to mention about this is if you press the plus sign like it says, you'll go through the example. So if you press plus sign, so you'll notice J again will bring you down. If you put 2J, so it'll go down twice. Okay, that's pretty cool. I haven't gotten into that yet, that's why. And if you do the minus sign, it'll go backwards. So if you want to go, not actually in the VIM motions, but so you can see the example again. So let me press escape. Okay, and then I need to go down. Actually, let me see if I can. So this would be K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try 6K. What about K6? Oh, it doesn't look like I have that ability. Yeah. It's in the documentation, so that's something we'll be able to do later, but, right? Because, I mean, yeah. So 6K. Yeah, it should be able to, well, I don't have the access to it yet. Like I said, they'll let me do 2. No, it doesn't have access. So it's just HJK for now. So I'm going through it. I have experience up until level 3, but after that, not really. Okay, to reach the treasure chest, you should know words are separated by spaces. You need the W, E, and B buttons, capitals, to navigate words. So I need those keys, W, E, and B, before I can get there. Okay. Let's see. Going through here. Okay. Moving up or down on a shorter line into water moves you to the last column in a shorter line. But if you keep moving to a longer line, you end up in the same column where you started. Okay, this makes sense. So here I'm on the 3rd column, or column index 2, however you choose to look at it. If I decide to go up, the next row has the last column as 2 instead of 3. So you notice right here, it's 3, and this is 2. So it goes to the end, effectively. So if I press K, it goes here. And then if I go K again, since I started at 3, it'll take me to 3, but not any further, which is nice. So that'll take me 3, 3, 3 all above. So if I want to get past this, all I need to do is go down. So you see it takes me to the end, and a line, and then here. And that's because I started here at this column, and then when I go all the way down to this line, it retains that column selection. So I'll go down. Here it is. There we go. Okay. So it's like typing. It doesn't take that long to get more used to it, like acclimated. It's also breakfast, so I'm eating a little bit of oatmeal. Hope you'll excuse that. Just finished a swim this morning. Just started swimming this morning, so started swimming and also learning VIM. A lot of firsts, but it's good to kind of go through it. It might seem daunting at first. I was thinking it might be time consuming to learn it, and that's one of the reasons why I purchased VIM Adventures, so that I could really learn the tool as quickly as possible, kind of get acclimated as quickly as possible, and that way I wouldn't have to kind of spend additional hours trying to figure it out myself when there's tools already that will help me learn it efficiently. Okay, there will come a time before open source golden era when the bugs rule the land and the darkness is deep, but from the shadows a shadowy one emerges to restore the old code, and the power of VIM will prevail. Now go back, and then VIM totally rules. Okay. So let's read what he says. To fulfill the prophecy, you have to understand VIM words. Word is a sequence of letters, digits, and underscores, or a sequence of punctuation marks, or an empty line. Finding W, B, and E will help you navigate the words. Okay. So I see the W right here. Okay. Now I'll be able to move forward a word. So we could see the example. One word, one word. This is where I have a little bit of trouble with the punctuation, because I know there's a difference between V and capital V. So that's where I'll still have to kind of play with it a little bit. Also for E and B, W-E versus E, B versus capital B, they're a little different. There I'll still have to kind of get used to what the difference is. Because I know one includes punctuation, one doesn't, I believe, and it kind of differentiates that. So I'll have to look into it. Let's see. Separated by white spaces, an empty line is also considered to be a word. Okay. Okay, so let's go here. Let's press word. Now I'm on the. Now I'm on E. E will move to the end of the word. Position the cursor at the end of the word does not stop in an empty line. A word consists of a sequence of letters, digits, underscores, a sequence of other non-blank characters separated with white space, tabs. An empty line is also considered to be a word. Yeah, so it goes to E. Oh. Okay, so that goes to the end of 2, goes to the end of the S. Considers the punctuation of the word. D. Okay, so E is going and considering punctuation. Let's go down and then to the right. Got a key. Now what we want to do is we'll go to the end of the words. Now I got B. B is the backwards, so you go to the previous word, or the start of the word and then the next. So I think if you're in the middle of the word, it goes to the start. We'll see right now, actually. Let's go. So we press B. No. Okay, here's the word. Here's the word. Here's the word. And then, or sorry, it's going back in the word. But what I wanted to double check was if I press B, it goes to the start of the word. If I press B again, it goes to the beginning of the previous word. Okay, so E, E. Okay, yeah, looks good. Let's go here. I'll press B. Backwards and then to the end of the word. And 3 keys. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So very good on shadowy one. I promise I can read. It's just the different the different styles where it's spaced out on the text versus this, and then kind of transitioning back kind of throws me off. Okay, very good, shadowy one. You learned some word navigation. I suggest you head for the dreadful text islands, but be careful. Okay. One thing I'll do, since I purchased the account and I already logged in, so if you go to the login, you'll be logged, or once you purchase it, you'll associate it with your email, and then you can log in with the username and password. So you'll be prompted to create your password, and then from there you'll be set up. With that said, then you can log in. Once you log in, this I mean, it's in here, so it's my fault for not reading it, but here is where you can save your game. I already have a file name called first. What I'm gonna call this one is maybe like test. Maybe I'll just call it test for now, or maybe I'll call it YT for your YouTube. So I'll do that. Let's go ahead and write, and then I'll save it to YT. Okay, and then if I need to overwrite it, apparently the way you do it is W bang, and then YT. Yep. Because if you try just doing it again, just like this, it'll let you know it already exists, and you need to overwrite by using the bang character, the exclamation mark. Okay, the bugs have been changing our text for so long, we barely remember how they used to be. Luckily, the bugs use red ink when adding stuff. Please help us fix it. Okay, so the red are the bugs. I believe it's the characters that need to be removed. So here's capital B. Words backwards. Word consists of separated by white space, an empty line. Okay, so I think this is where it's different, where if it's capital B, it considers the exclamation to be part of it, because before it was kind of just differentiating it. Yeah, so you see there, even though there's the dot and the at and the hyphen, it went to the beginning of the word. And right here, it also considered this to be all one word, ERM, comma, and here as well. So as long as it's a contiguous set of characters, not including white space, I believe, then you can go through it. Otherwise, if it's B, I think it'll stop at those punctuations, lowercase b. But we could see that. Let's try it. So I'll press B, B, B. There we go. Yeah, so it stopped at all of them. Versus if I put cap B, it goes right to the beginning. So it skips, so it considers it all one word when it has punctuation. Now this game is really helpful for learning it sequentially. Rumor has it that the text silence below guard the power of deletion, but no one succeeded in getting it. They were all caught up in a nasty loop and disappeared. I'll teleport you back in 30 seconds so you won't get lost on the islands. So this one's a time challenge where you have 30 seconds to get to the key at the bottom. And you can kind of see it scroll at the very bottom. So at the very end right here, that's where the X is, and that's where you'll learn to delete. And I'm only saying this because I've gotten into level 3, past level 3. I'll learn with you guys because I don't know. But I also feel like explaining helps me with my learning. And we'll see how much I can get done by 11. Because it's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all mothers today. And make sure to go out and thank them for what they've done. I'll be going out as well, so that's why I'm just limiting it to an hour. I went to a swim, had some breakfast, and then at 11 I'll be leaving with my wife for the day. But yeah, so just getting some study session in. Okay, here I'm going to use the W to go through them. And then here I can use E when I'm blocked. There we go. There, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit only because I'm using W's and E's, so I'm going to the next word, next word, next word, and so forth. And then I'm using E when it's blocked. So for example, like here on goes, it's blocked at the, actually, sorry, let's say and right here, it's blocked at the A. So I'm not able to use the W's to kind of go forward. Instead, I have to use the E's to the end of the word. So I land on the D. I feel like I'm kind of cheating. The only reason is that, well, at first I was just kind of toggling between them and I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. Still a little bit here, you can see like I'm making mistakes and it's just not as accurate. So ideally you want to be accurate so that you, so if I go through it, I'd say, okay, word, word, word. I can keep going, there's no blockers. Here as well, it's blocked at the end, so I can keep going through the beginning. Here, I want to go end, word, 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 end, because the beginning is blocked, word, 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 end, word, end. Okay, so I've got it just in time, 5 seconds to spare, but that's how we should be doing it more, or that's how I should be doing it more thoughtfully. Instead of, first I was just kind of spamming them, and then just trying to get through it, so brute forcing it for the most part. Like I kind of knew what I was doing, but, and then we could press escape, so we can get rid of those timers. All right, so I know how to delete. Delete is going to be X, actually. If I do help, no, not help. There's like keyboard, there we go. Because I didn't show X. So X deletes the character, and capital X deletes the character before the cursor. Okay. Well, we'll see an example of that. Or I think I could do help, capital X, delete, count characters before the cursor in the current line, enter register specified, does the same thing as, I need to take a quick call, 1 moment. Sorry about that. I had a quick call with my family about the Mother's Day plan. I was planning on leaving at 11, but I'll be leaving at 10:30, so I'll be doing what I can to continue here. So let me just make sure I'm saving this. Oh no, it's rising. Actually, I think we were looking at the X command, so let's do that. X is under, so X is the, oh no, let's see. This is capital X, so let's see. So we're on the W. You get rid of the one before and you go backspace, okay. I see. Versus, oh no. What am I doing? Right here, help, and then lowercase x. This one just gets rid of the letter itself. So let's try both cases. Let's say I'm here, and I use capital X, versus, and it takes me back versus X. And then, okay. And it's kind of like it moves forward because it gets rid of that. So then I'm on the next character. So say, for example, if I put X here, if I delete this one, it'll leave me on a blank space. Okay? Versus, let's say I delete this one before, so I put capital X. If I put capital X, it'll leave me on the E. And then if I put X, it'll now put me on the U since there's no other characters. Okay, that's the key. Now that I have the key, I can go back to the chest. Let's see. Fastest way to go back is go B. And like I said, it's muscle memory, so oh, what am I doing? Sorry, I don't have the muscle memory yet because when I wanted to look at the camera and do the commands, I got them all wrong. So right now it's not implicit. When I think about two things, like talking to the camera and also doing the commands, I don't do well. But when I'm just thinking about the commands mostly, it goes a bit better. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. There we go, just traversing backwards. So here it is. So if I put B in this portion, I can't because there's an I under this. I can't, there is an exclamation under this rock, so B lands me right on it. Yeah. So I can't go back. The way I would have to do it is I would have to consider this all one word and then go back to the beginning of the word, which is capital B. There we go. Now I just need to go to the chest. Oh yeah, I don't like this. This is where I only get a little bit of visual and you kind of have to traverse it, so it does feel like a maze. I don't really kind of remember. It's like on the top right corner that I want to get to. Nope. Ah, there it is. Okay. And then we got to do that same trick before, so we go down. And here we go up. Oh no. There we go. Okay, here. I press E. Okay, there we go. Help us, ho, shadowy one. Is that supposed to be O, shadowy one, instead of ho? This is our darkest hour, pun intended. Darkest hour. Okay. So we keep going down. Now we have light back. So let there be light. Pretty nice. I'll go ahead and save this. Exclamation mark. The bugs are messing with the screen's brightness. Luckily you found that candle. They're not strong enough to make it last though. You have to stop them, okay? So the bugs, if I remember correctly, the red is like text we want to delete. Also, if you're watching this, I appreciate you watching it. But keep in mind, so it's good to watch if you want to. But I encourage more you practice it. So if you're trying to learn VIM motions, you know, practice it because it's all muscle memory. It's the same thing if you're trying to learn how to type. You can watch people type and you can know the placements. You can know how you're supposed to move your fingers, but unless you do it, it's not going to be as effective. Nowhere near as effective. Not just a little, but nowhere near as effective. So you want to try it yourself. This is more for, kind of a bit of entertainment purposes and a little bit educational between the two. So like myself, I like to watch streamers like Casey Muratori and also the Primogen, TJ, just because they're knowledgeable and I like to see their take on it. At the same time, they'll be kind of learning, kind of investigating articles or explaining certain programming concepts, and that way it's fun for me. It's fun for me. It's just something like if I'm, instead of going on watching a show, I'm watching that sometimes, and it keeps me entertained while at the same time I'm learning something, and it's a bit fun. So I'm hoping that's the case here, where you could see like, oh, maybe VIM is something that's not as scary, because it seems pretty scary. That's why I looked into the Kickstarter. So after this, I'll use the Kickstarter configuration that Teach created so that I can really get my actual setup going, and that's what I'll be transitioning to after this game. So ideally, I don't want to spend too long on this game. I want to spend maybe like a week or two on the game, get comfortable with it. I don't know how long the game is, to be honest. But I believe it's 13 levels, but I don't know how long that takes. Because if I'm already on level 3, then it really shouldn't take that long. Maybe a few days at most. But with that said, want to get used to it so then I can get my actual setup. And then I can just get actually comfortable editing files like that, or just kind of writing my code like that. So that's the purpose. It's a bit more entertainment, a little bit more informative, and hopefully it gets you feeling like it's not too challenging, and that's the goal. But it's also not to kind of hands-on teach you this. You want to purchase the game, and then or at least like if you want to go through it pretty quickly, learning those VIM motions, you want to purchase the game so you get the muscle memory, and then you kind of go from there. You don't have to buy the game. It's not necessary if you want to kind of learn it yourself on the editor. I think I also saw that there was the tutor command, so :tutor. Which I've heard is pretty good, but I just wanted something that eased me into it because I did find it scary at first. Going through this process, this gamifies it for me and makes it easier. Kind of like boot.dev, from what I've heard. I haven't purchased any of that, but their gamification of it makes it a bit more, a bit less scary to get into. So words are separated by white space. It doesn't matter what's in it as long as it's space delimited. W, E, and B navigate words. Okay. So this is the capital W, E, and B, so they navigate words. So it's only delimited by white space, not by punctuation marks. And that's something we covered earlier. Let's see. So if I go here, I can do capital X if I want. Since this is all one big word, like that, I can do X here. And then X. There we go. So I have capital W, and then I also have capital E. Okay, so let's take a look at capital E. Yeah, considers it all contiguous. This is pretty nice. So end of the word. And so the last one that's more relevant is it. So it period, it'll take me to the end of that. Versus if I did E, like here, it takes me to T and then the period, because it considers them separate words. Okay. It's pretty good. And I think this is where I stopped. No, I think I had replace, so I was not that far off. Looks like it's 10:30, so about 10:30, so I'll have to drop one off. But I'll continue the session later, trying to get as much programming as I can throughout my free time. So thank you so much everyone for watching. Hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I'll see you soon.